Right, okay. Today we'll be talking about positional play. What positional play is and how we can implement it in our formation, how we can implement it in games, and try and give you an understanding of certain scenarios where you would want to be in terms of your position, in terms of the player around you, in terms of where the ball is on the pitch, how you want to be, if we want to progress, if we want to hold, if we want to maybe drop back. So just kind of give you a rough idea. Obviously, with positional play, it is very, very determined on where the ball is, where the opponents are, and kind of how and where we can press or how and where we can drop off, retain possession, and then look to maybe switch the play over to another area. So, as you can see, we're split into 4 lanes. So you've got 1 lane here, another lane here. Well, sorry, 5 lanes because you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Technically, these are your half lanes, and this is the half space. So when looking at the half space is a great area. I mean, if you look at the current Man City team, the team that just won the treble, how they've been utilizing the half space. I mean, there's been teams before that have done it, but the way that they've done it, you know, they're pushing their attacker all the way up into the half space, looking for their cam acting as a second striker to be in the half space as well, just for a simple, you know, cut back and then shoot across goal. Because if you have a striker and then even your winger and then your cam, you look at how many players they can overload into the box. Against a back line, it's very difficult because more than likely one's going to look to try and close him down, one's going to look to stay on the striker, the other cam coming in. You got their wing back will be on the inverted winger. Most of the time, this person is left clear, so they can get the cutback. But even if they're not, I mean, they haven't got the manpower to get everyone. There'll always be an option, whether, you know, you play it long over here, you cut it, you maybe might have to do a quick pass here to there and then shoot, or just straight there, or even a pass here with a dummy and then he gets it. There's, you know, so many different things. But, you know, let's focus on the actual positional play and the actual movement of players, because I don't want this to be too much of a long video where there's too much going on and you're not being able to process everything. Sorry, these should be here. So in terms of starting lines, this is kind of what you want. You want a nice compact back 3. Obviously, when we are pressing into the switching into a back 4, we'd want to occupy a more of a wider coverage where we can have, you know, our wing backs on a wider position, because we're having 2 defenders that can kind of occupy this entire middle space. Obviously, with one, it's a bit, you know, if I just take him away out of the equation, it's not something that just one person can occupy by themselves. Hence why when in possession, I'd always like us to be compact, just in case of a quick counter-attack, not enough time for him to get back, we can't set up a back 4. This is better because then you have your main mid lanes through to goal that are being protected. And even if they do go wide, then it's fine, because then we can take this person wide. And again, positional play, if this person goes wide, there has to be somebody that kind of shuts this down and covers this. Or, for example, then you're going to have to get your centre-back to come down here, the other CDM to turn to the centre-back. And that's what I want to see happening most of the time, is if we are in a position where, if the right back or the left back over there has to move around and go wide, then at least we can get our centre-back to cover the space here and allow for a drop back into the back 4. Now, in terms of progressing and attacking, let's say, you know, for argument's sake, let's say the ball is in this area here, yeah? So I'll just, you know, just going to like draw a circle here just to represent the ball. If the player's got the ball here, how I would like us to set up is, at all times, there should never be more than 2 people in this lane down here. So it will always be covered by either our right back and right wing, or if the right wing has gone inverted for some reason, then I'd like the cam to step in and take this. But always 2 players in these lanes, no matter what. So 2 players in these lanes, unless obviously you're defending compact. On any sort of attacking basis, wherever the ball is in the lane, there should be 2 players occupying it. So in this position, we wouldn't have 2 players in this lane because of where the ball positioning is. Doesn't make sense. Instead, what would happen in this position here, let's build up from the back, instantly I'd want to be in a position where these 2 have become narrow, basically become 2 centre-backs as if it was a back 4 set up, but it's only going to be 2 of them. Ball here, this person, this DM will occupy this lane here, so he won't sit between the 2 to try and defend both. He'll only sit in one to be providing for a passing option. I'd want this player to join him in this lane. So now we're in a position where we've got 2 in this lane, 2 in this lane, in an attacking sense, and we have the drop off if we need it. This player should always look to just be as wide as possible, touching the byline, because that then creates this space here, where even if a ball is, played over here, let's say, it's played across here into this kind of area, it's something that, you can get a run on from here maybe, or a run on through there. But more time, you would always look for this. When this run occurs, you'd look for this run here, because what happens if this run occurs? They'll go here. Very, very simple. That's kind of what you want. So again, 2 here, because then they provide the passing options for both of them. You've got a triangle here, you've got that, you've got a triangle there. Very, very simple. And now looking more up here, I'd like for our striker to then look to come down here. Again, same with this defender is, he's in both lanes, because the ball, if it moves this way and we're starting to move this way, then he can just track back here. But if the ball does tend to move, if it does move this way, then he has the ability to be in this area here. This other cam, I'd want him straight away covering the entire midsection. And then we have the inverted winger, because of where the ball is, looking to come down, maybe even further, looking to come down to about here if the ball is here. If the ball was to move in, anywhere in, kind of this vicinity here, I'd say instantly, you're looking to maybe come even a little bit deeper. You're looking to come a little bit deeper. You look to push up now. You're looking to push up. You're looking to push up. You're looking to push up. You're looking to come down here. And you guys are looking to occupy the halfway line. Because now you think about it, we're in a position where we're so heavy. We're so heavy here, but we're still, because of where the ball positioning is, which it would be here now, anywhere in this area, we don't need to worry about being counterattacked from this side. We can leave these lanes empty, because we're dictating the play. We're dictating where the ball is. We want to overload the area where the ball is, while still having attacking options on the other side, which we do here, especially these two being our attacking options. If we can move the ball, like I said, into this area anyway. So you would want this person with the ball to be anywhere from, from here to about here. Because the minute they do, like I said before, and if we were in this position already, you would have really looked for that cam second striker to go anywhere there. Striker, all he has to do is run here. The inverted winger, just round the back as well here, and even if he wants to push up just a little bit, anywhere in this area, striker, and then you've just got, the other cam just about here. And even from there, if that when he pushes, when he breaks into these 2 areas now, especially this area, once he makes it from this box into this area, in line, with the penalty area, you're looking now, you're looking to occupy this area. The DM is looking to push up high here, the other DM looking to push up high here. And then, you've still got your centre backs here, depending on obviously positions and players. You won't always need to sit on the halfway line if we are here. Even if there is an attacker here, you don't need to worry. The minute, it looks like we could lose possession, let me just get a little drop back. Maybe the DM, if he wants to drop back as well, the cam can drop back, and you can do it from there. But majority of the time, I would want the setup to kind of look like, look like this when we get into that position. So the positional play is, you've got somebody who was a left winger is now basically a left striker. You've got your right cam is now another striker. You had a DM who's now playing a cam role. You had your right back who's now a right mid. So it's one of these where it's interchanging at all times. Again, now let's say we're dropping off now. We're in a defensive position. And let's say we were in our back 4. So let me make a back 4 here. So we'd be playing it as we'd be playing our back 4. Looking to drop back into a sort of 4-2-3-1, or like I said, a 4-2-4, depending on how deep we need to go, or maybe even a 4-3-3 if we really want to strengthen that midfield. But majority of the time, I'm happy with us staying in a 4-2-3-1 in a defensive situation, because it re-strengthens that whole mid aspect, still keeping these players wide. But again, like if I was to put an attacker in, an opponent in, and now let's say if they're pushing across this side, let's just, for example, you know, we'll put in another midfielder here. You know, he's looking to go there. The striker's obviously pushing up on the back line, and for argument's sake, we'll put in another midfielder. So if they, you know, now the ball is here, yeah. So the ball is here now. We don't need to worry too much about this area. If it is in this area here, or even this area here, the minute they progress onto here, you know, because you got to remember, we've got a half space that we need to defend as well, you know. So we've got our own half spaces here that we need to defend, because they still dangerous for us. As much as we can utilize them, it can be used against us. So the minute the ball will progress into this area or this area, you want to look to then occupy the half space at the back here with a wing back. You don't need to worry about this, because look, nothing can happen here. If they're here and they get the ball to here, nothing's happening for them. If they're from here and they can get the ball here, yeah, you know, they're in front of goal. So you'd want to, so now we're talking about if the ball's here, you'd want to then have somebody occupying this area. I would like to double up on the mid, have our CDMs back. So we've created this box, and obviously you'd be on this player here. You know, you should also have the support of the winger, whichever side it is, looking to maybe do his best to come and cover this sort of area. So now you can see we've got the back four here, but we've also got a 3-man in the middle. We've got 4 players occupying this kind of mid lane, but that mid lane is obviously the most important for the goal. You've got 1 player occupying the wide lane and another player occupying the half lane. Because what will happen from here is if he's trying to attack now, let me move him here. Let's get rid of that and let's put the ball here. Now let's say if he's here, what they're going to do, they're going to look to maybe push this guy up as well. So you want this winger is stuck to him as this man, allow this person and this person to just completely shut off the midsection. So that way, if a ball comes in, they'll release, because then they can release to 2 players ahead of them. The minute they release to 2 players ahead of them, instantly we look to, you know, spread the play, go wide, put the ball out wide, hold it. Not everything needs to be counter-attacked, doesn't need to be bombarded. But if the opportunity's there, if for example, maybe they pushed really high, they put their wing backs in as well, and they're left with 2 defenders, and we're in a position where we've got 2. If it's ever the same amount of defenders and attackers, go for it. If it's ever more attackers and defenders, go for it. If it's less attackers and defenders, don't go for it. I would prefer you not to go for it, because there's a less chance it will happen. Hold the ball. Hold the ball, let the team regroup, let them reset the shape, play again. But like I said, if the ball's here, we want this setup. We instantly 2 in the box. You guys need to remember this now. So this will be our 2 centre-backs in the box. Remember, this centre-back is that CDM who's, you know, playing that position where he's switching between the 2. You've got your winger acting as a left-back there. You've got your, you essentially, it's like a 5-back where you've got a left wing-back and a, you know, another centre-back here, essentially. You'd have him occupying this. So now all of a sudden, you've got 3 main in the box. Depending on where this person is, depends on where our defender will be. So if they're all the way here, I want you here as well. Obviously, don't play them on. Try and be on the other side of them, depending on where the ball is as well. Let's put this goalkeeper back. If now this person's trying to break through the middle here, so you got the striker, I wouldn't want the CDMs to compromise themselves, and then it will get too tight here. Ball can drop here. What will happen is we can try and enclose them in a sort of box here. That's if it's 1 striker. Now, if we're putting 2 strikers in, you know, if we're putting 2 strikers in like this, I would say in this position, I'd want to overload and make it a 3v2. So then one of the CDMs, you've got to communicate that. The one who's maybe more defensive minded goes back and, you know, tries to overload this area with an extra man, have him just on the outside. So I would always want us to defend this midsection with more numbers than they have. So if it's 2, we have 3. If it's 1, we have 2. If it's 4, we have 5. You know, stuff like that. But obviously, we shouldn't ever be in a position where there's 4 in a mid lane here. If it is, then everything's gone wrong. But that's that. So now, if you know, and from there, like I said, you've got now a CDM, 2 CDMs playing a left back and a centre back. You've got your right backs looking to come in as a centre back. You've got your centre back who's staying as centre back, and the left back who's a left wing back looking to play it out. Cams are becoming DMs. This person here in this position, I wouldn't want you getting involved in the defending aspect. You don't need to, but you need to be in a position where if a ball comes in, it ends up, you know, like getting cleared. It ends up here. Our right back should always have an option to play it to you, and then from there, instantly from there, drop in, you know, look to keep our striker maybe in this area to keep that pressure on the defender. The other person can come in here. Sorry, this person here. So leave the striker. The striker doesn't need to be involved. Can maybe drop a little bit deep if we're trying to bring the ball out. But while they're attacking, keep the striker there. If the defenders press up high, that's even better for you. More reason to stay there. If they're staying on the line, then you can look to come back. But stay here for now. If, like I said, we're overloading this mid area, I'm sorry I didn't mention earlier, but this person should look to come in and occupy the kind of midsection here on the outskirts of the penalty area. So that way, if a ball comes out, it gets played here. He's in a position where then now he's in this lane, can look to play him there. He'll progress this lane while this person gets the ball. And only when this person can clear the halfway line, I would want you to occupy this lane if the ball is in this area. So I know it's a lot, and I know it's might be confusing, but just keep rewatching, keep listening to what I've said. It's really dependent on where the ball is, you know. So again, hold on, let's put this back. Let's just put all these back really quickly, just so I can kind of hold on. So it is, you know, it's very dependent on where the ball is, where the opponents are, how the opponents are playing. That's what's going to kind of dictate what you guys need to do. But you know, if just with a bit of thought and a bit of communication, and that's the thing, if you can communicate it between you lot, you can say, hey, you get this, I'll get that, blah, blah, blah. It makes life for everyone so much easier. So let me just take these away. Let me reset these. So again, if we are now, let's say we're in a position where the ball's in the middle, yeah? So if the ball's in the mid section, let's just put the ball here. Let's put the ball here. And let's say this person's occupying the ball here. Straight away from here, if it's on this side, this person should be wide, okay? Remember that, wide if it is on this side. If it's on that side, this person would be wide. But because it's on this side, this person wide, and this person in that area, okay? That kind of in between the two here. I want you there. This person, again, obviously depending on the defender's positioning, maybe if you can push up, that's great. If you can push up, maybe look to double up with the striker now. So now they're looking for this, but then there might be this big gap here and you think, oh, hold on, you know, blah, blah, blah. But look, it could just easily be occupied here and here, okay? And then the reason for this is because this person would be, you know, anywhere about here. The DM will obviously just be behind the other one, and then you've got your backline will have pressed up as well. So, you know, your backline would have pressed up. Maybe we have a DM that goes there instead, actually. So in this position, you've got your two centre backs who are left. You've got your DM here, and you've got another DM there. So that way, you know, you've got options of you can go here, here. He gets a run in. He gets the run in, and then you make that area where he goes here, and then you have all of that set up here. I go back to back, go for the striker, go for the half space, go for the person on the outside of the box. So that's one. Or another one is if they're here, then you just look for the simple 1, 2, he looks in for the run, 3, he's in the half space, he comes in, looks for the cut back. From here, he'll look to come here, and he'll look to go here, okay? And he'll look to come here. So now, again, look, if we can get it here, and he's pushed there, he's got the option of 1, 2, even from here to here, or round the back here, or even just the ball kind of through here. It is so many options that you guys can play. And the thing is, once you realize that passing is such a big thing and it's so important, it's brilliant. Even playing out from the back. Now, let's just forget all of that over there. Just don't worry about that. But even coming out from the back as a 3, you know, as a 3 coming out from the back, you're always, if the ball is with this player here, yeah, if the ball's with this player here, look at his body positioning. If the centre back's opening and he's opening facing this side, drop off for him, you know, provide that. This person then, you know, they'll look to come maybe onto the halfway line here, and then the DM that's here looks to occupy that space. We had our 2 cams here. They'll still, you know, they can still play their areas here. That's perfectly fine. You've got your other DM, you know, here, and then you've got the striker he'll still be ahead of everyone. But what you want to do from this position is you can utilize the striker dropping in as like a false nine, looking to help play the ball out here, because what they can do once they're here, look how many triangles you made. You've got a triangle here, you've got a triangle here, he'll make a triangle here. But let's get the striker out. Just by me moving him, has made a triangle there, a triangle here, you've got a triangle here, you've got a triangle here, a triangle here. You can just, look, what you got to do, you want to pass here. From here, you can either pass here or you can pass here. These two can pass between each other. Got the option to pass between each other here. If you get it to him here, obviously they'll look to create this triangle and they can pass around here. If you get it to here, then you've got the DM, for now, the DM, while he's transitioning, they can look to make the pass here. Once it starts, progressing up the pitch even, with the winger now, then you can even look for this triangle here. So just making triangles is so great for you lot to progress the ball. Bang, 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 bang. And you always want to make sure that your triangle, you're outnumbering them as well. If they're putting 3 in, maybe... So the thing is, if they're putting 3 in, there'll be a gap for you to play a longer ball through, which is brilliant. Because if they're putting 3 in here, let's say they've got their winger, their right back, and their DM. Well, if their right back's in, nobody's occupying this space, okay? You pot a ball through, he runs on, it's a running race. It's better for us to be in a running race than it is being in a head-on race. Sorry, not head-on race, a head-on collision. So I'd prefer it being, like this, where they're both together running to the ball, rather than it being like this, where he's getting played in and they're both running in towards the ball. Yeah, I'd rather it be both chasing it rather than both colliding at it, because that's a 50-50. That's a 50-50 as well. But the best thing is that even if he wins, you're going to be close enough to pressure him and try and dictate and try and push him to get him in a position then where we can kind of overload, look at the players, cut off passing lanes and contain them in this area, and then look to play it out. You'll have wide men that have obviously... they'll be using their heads to try and then put it in a position where if you've pushed them out, you've taken it again, you're straight into the half space and bang, bang. So positional play is difficult. It's very difficult to explain as well, because it's really dependent on you guys understanding what's happening around you. I know there's so much on the board, don't get confused. But if you can understand what's around you, you can kind of see where the opponents are trying to get dragged in by you, making gaps, then it's brilliant. You know where the ball is. You know that if the ball is here, you don't need to be all the way wide here. We can start to shift up here. But the minute we get into that attacking position, we know where everybody needs to be to create the attacking option. And we know how, when we're defending, if he's in control of the ball, depending where the body position is, we want to kind of spread the play, give him the options, make a triangle, pass, 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 and don't be afraid. Go back. If he passes it here and the triangle didn't get formed, he's still clear. Cool. Drop off a little bit, pass it, get the keeper involved. We could start getting the keeper involved into like a back four, where we can then start passing keepers another option to pass. But the good thing about the keeper is we don't need him to push, because then what will happen is once the keeper's done, there'll be a CDM that comes in to kind of switch in with him. So that's that, guys. Like I said, I understand, I appreciate that it is difficult. It's difficult for me to explain. It's still something that I'm learning, but it's something that I want us to, really try and hone in on and get better at. So hopefully we can take this into practice and do it in a game and ball out. Take it easy.